So in the previous video, we saw how Clausius inequality plays out and why Clausius inequality is true. And the Clausius inequality says that the cyclic integral of del Q by T, where T is the boundary temperature of the system where the heat enters or leaves the system, is always less than or equal to 0. In this video, we are going to use the Clausius inequality to prove or to show or to convince ourselves that there should be another property of the system that we have so far not talked about, and that property is entropy, and that it is a state function because it only depends on the state and does not depend on how we got to that state, right? So we are going to start with the Clausius inequality and end up with something that we will define as the entropy, right? So let's start. So we know from Clausius inequality that the cyclic integral of del Q by T is less than or equal to 0, right? And note that this is a cyclic integral, right? So for example, integral delta Q by T, right? So this is for a process, let's say from state 1 to state 2. This could be greater than 0. There's no problem with this. This could be less than 0. No problem with that either. And it could be equal to 0. No problems with that either, right? So for example, for an adiabatic process, for instance, you will have integral of delta Q by T equal to 0 because there is no heat transfer, and so therefore whatever is inside the integral is 0, and so we'll get a 0, right? So there are instances where this integral is greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0. And this has nothing to do with the Clausius inequality, because the Clausius inequality necessarily only talks about the cyclic integral. It's not a simple process integral, it's a cyclic integral, which means that the system has to start and end at the same state. And only then you can use the Clausius inequality if you start and end at the same state, right? And that's why you do a cyclic integral del Q by T, and that is what is less than or equal to 0, right? So it does not talk about the del Q by T integral for individual processes. It only talks about what it is for the entire cycle, right? And so what this says is that the cyclic integral of del Q by T is less than 0 for irreversible cycles. That is, cycles consisting of at least one irreversible process. Then you'll have cyclic integral of del Q by T will be less than 0, and cyclic integral of del Q by T is equal to 0 for a reversible cycle. That is, if the cycle consists only of internally reversible processes, then we will have integral of del Q by T equal to 0, right? So I'll call this internally reversible cycle. Right? So in other words, all processes in that cycle have to be reversible, and only then you have a reversible cycle, internally reversible cycle. And if you do, then we will have cyclic integral of del Q by T will be exactly equal to 0, right? Now let's try to recall some other properties that are 0 for a cyclic integral. We have seen a number of such properties. In fact, any state function, the cyclic integral of any state function should be 0, right? So for example, the cyclic integral of dH, for example, is equal to 0. The cyclic integral of du should be equal to 0. Cyclic integral of dV, where V is the volume, should be equal to 0. Why? Because H is a state function, U is a state function, volume is a state function. And we can also write similarly for the intensive variables, it should be 0. So all of these cyclic integrals are 0, and these are 0 irrespective of what the cycle looks like. The cycle doesn't have to be reversible. The cycle doesn't have to be either isobaric, isothermal, isochoric, none of that, right? So as long as you have a cycle and you start and end up at the same point, which means you have a cycle, right? And the cyclic integral of all the state functions, all the state variables are 0, which means that this particular variable, if we have an internally reversible cycle, that must correspond then to a change in the state variable, right? So I'm going to write this again, so in a slightly different way. So what I can then say is the cyclic integral of delta q by t is equal to 0, internally reversible is equal to 0, right? So internally reversible delta q by t equal to 0. Let's come back to when we said delta h dh equal to 0, cyclic integral du equal to 0, right? So what this meant was that we said h is a property, right? U is a property. Right? And so we said, and so therefore we can, similarly we can say that this delta q by t, whichever is inside this integral, because whatever is inside the integral, its cyclic integral is 0, right? And so I can conclude that this must be a differential change in a state variable or a state function or a property of the system, right? So I must then conclude that this internally reversible should be corresponding to d of some state variable. Or property. Right? So let me come again. So the cyclic integral of dq by t internally reversible is 0. Because the cyclic integral of something is 0, then that something must correspond to an infinitesimal change in a state variable or a property of the system. And this is d and not delta, because it's the change of a state variable or a property of the system and it's not dependent on the path, right? So so this is dq delta q by t internally reversible, and this is d of something, and that something we call entropy, right? And this is ds, right? So again we write ds equals delta q by t internally reversible, or I can integrate this and say delta s equals integral of the process delta q by t internally reversible. What does this mean? This means that if I want the change in entropy of the system, right, then I have got to integrate along an internally reversible process, and then I'll get the change in entropy, right? So I cannot integrate through a process that I have followed myself. I have to integrate through a process that is internally reversible, and then I can get the value of the change in entropy, right? And so this is how we go from the Clausius inequality to a system property or a property of the system, which is we have now called entropy. And in the next video, we are going to talk about a few properties of entropy, and we are going to see what entropy generation is and whether entropy gets conserved or not.